5 years into democracy, South Africans continue to resort to violent protests, seeking attention from those in government. Now, the Nelson Mandela Foundation reflects on what leads to these yet violent protests in a democratic society. It's engagements like these that the foundation hopes will provide solutions onto the matter.
Our society is impatient. Some will argue not impatient enough, considering the promise and the belief that it can be done quickly. We need, and it might take some years yet, to clean up the mess that came with the last 9 years.
However, protests continue to be on the rise in South Africa. Fresh in memory is the Fees Must Fall campaign.
As you saw that during the Fees Must Fall protest, particularly where you saw police brutality, where you saw stun grenades, rubber bullets, physical beatings, pepper spraying, etc., etc. But also a form of trauma that we don't emphasize enough, and that is mental, psychological.
Former public protector appeals for a speedy resolution that will see a protest-free society. She has a word of advice for those who feel they are not being listened to.
Often we rush into protest without the engagement, without preparing the ground. But secondly, what I learned during the struggle ourselves in the 80s is there's always people called agents provocateurs. Those are the people who may be planted. There might be people we used to call them comrade tsotsis, who are going to use this opportunity for criminal purposes. So it becomes important that you plan these protests in such a way that you give them no reason to attack.
Delegates here have agreed that as part of fighting this scourge of protests in the country, police need to be retrained and equipped with skills on how to deal with violent situations, thus maintaining public order policing. Abongile Dumako, SABC News, Johannesburg.